With injury updates and more, this is Pro Wrestling Central. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Explaining why she decided to sign with WWE after leaving TNA, Jordynne Grace told Sports Illustrated's The Takedown, yeah, for sure. I think for me, ultimately, as a woman especially, historically, we haven't had the longest careers, right? Maybe I want to have a kid one day, so at some point, no matter who you are, you kind of have to start prioritizing the money and being able to, contribute to a 401k, invest in, the stock market, all of that real adult stuff. So I think it comes down to, ultimately, yes, 6 weeks off is great, but I would love to be able to retire one day. On Tuesday, Suri revealed that after her AEW debut that she is injured, writing, "I'm having surgery this month on my elbow, which has been hurting for a while." On his show, Pat McAfee revealed why he is taking a break from commentating WWE Raw, saying, "I think that just kind of backed up, just slowed down. I stopped going to Monday Night Raw, so that took away 2 planes and a 2-hour sleep a night week away from the schedule, and it was like, stack a couple of those weeks." Yeah, it was like, it wasn't even a couple weeks. By Wednesday, you're like, man, I feel like it was, well, if you didn't do it, you snap your fingers and then boom, game day is back. Okay, here I'm just whatever. And also, Corey Graves, so good. Wade Barrett, so good. For me at the commentator position, it's like show moves on regardless, so the ability to not feel absolutely terrible for having to take a step back because I'm tired, WWE has on the other side, because they have such a hard work kind of mindset and travel mindset, and they've been doing it for so long. They understand. People get to hey, we understand. You might need to take a sleep for a little. They've been great. They've been great, and I will always love the WWE, and I miss it. In some unfortunate news, the mother of Mark Henry has passed away, with his son Jacob writing this on X. "I truly don't even have my words fully together. She was one of the most important people in my life. You were my girl, but now it's time for you to rest and reunite with my hero. I love you so much, my sweet grandmother." Going over the status of Cardi B at SummerSlam, Ringside News wrote that Cardi B had fans scratching their heads after vanishing from all recent WWE SummerSlam promos. But it looks like she's still in the mix after all. Back in April, WWE made a huge splash announcing Cardi B would host the 2-night SummerSlam event at MetLife Stadium on August 2nd and 3rd. But as the weeks rolled on, WWE stopped mentioning her completely during broadcasts, leading fans to question if the partnership had quietly fallen apart. Fightful Select cleared up the confusion in an update, reporting that despite the lack of promotion, she's still set for the SummerSlam show, with the claim that nothing has changed. WWE sources told the outlet that the company has long been making plans for the event with her in mind. The situation got murky after weeks of silence and no new mentions of Cardi on TV. Even the original announcement video is still live on WWE's website, but the company has gone quiet about her involvement. That's a sharp contrast from their usual strategy when hyping celebrity appearances, especially when the celeb in question is one of the biggest names in music. Triple H previously spoke about Cardi during the Money in the Bank post-show press conference, saying, "I don't know if anyone can control Cardi B. Let me start with that. If she wants to, I don't think we can talk her out of it." He added that she was excited about the project, and that WWE was pushing to reach audiences beyond the typical wrestling fan base. Even with that enthusiasm, WWE silence raised red flags. Based on Fightful's report, it appears Cardi is still booked and ready to go. WWE's just keeping things quiet for now. Discussing the reaction in AEW to Adam Cole being concussed after being hit by a clothesline from Kyle Fletcher on AEW Collision, Sean Ross Sapp noted on The Hump, "There were definitely talent who asked, 'Do you know which spot it was?' And I said, 'Yeah, it was the lariat.' And they went, 'Yeah, it was almost like it was done as a message.' Now, people like Kyle Fletcher, he's a really well-liked guy, but sometimes guys want to make sure it's known. Even if you're a good dude, you've got to protect your people better." Goldberg was unhappy with his retirement speech after getting cut off during Saturday night's main event, saying this to Ariel Helwani. "Yeah, I can't say that I was too thrilled about part of that, but nah. Well, the Saturday night's main event and live TV in Atlanta. You always have your dreams of how you're going to do things, and ultimately to have a little bit more control over the time and the space would have been much more preferred. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, absolutely. They cut me off for freaking 20 seconds with a microphone in my hand. For God's sakes. I got 2 weeks before I can really, spill the beans and, make my feelings kind of known about the entire rundown from the inception of the idea to its delivery. It was a little less than to be desired." After this interview, Ariel Helwani said this on Busted Open Radio about Goldberg's comments. "I'll be 1000% honest with you. I was not expecting that. I got the sense maybe that because the post-match interview got cut off, that maybe he was a little perturbed, but I didn't think that could cloud the entire thing, because I do agree with you, it's very rare to get an opportunity like that." Helwani praised the presentation of Goldberg's send-off, citing the walkout with figures from his past like Doug Dellinger and Josh Barnett as an amazing touch. I get it," Helwani explained, comparing it to his own awful experience at his dream job with ESPN. "To us, we could sit around and be like, 'You know why you got it? Go shut up.' And he's like, 'No, I had other plans. I have a hard time telling someone how he should feel. He mentioned his father-in-law passed away a week ago," he said. "Maybe he's still dealing with that. He's going through some stuff, and I have a hard time faulting him for feeling that way. I will say at one point I was like, is he working me right now? Is this like part of the story that he's upset? Maybe he does pop up in 2 weeks on AEW and say, 'These guys screwed me,' and all that stuff. Where workers work, so who knows? I'm not putting that one past them either." Staying on the topic of Goldberg and AEW, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful reported that, "I knew for months that this was going to be Goldberg's retirement match weekend. We had reported that. They really should have given him more time for a proper speech. But honestly, that wasn't their priority. What they did care about was scheduling it on the same weekend as AEW's biggest show. That was the focus, putting it head-to-head with AEW's biggest show. And for what it's worth, AEW had actually offered Goldberg a legitimate retirement run." Recalling an interaction he had with Vince McMahon and Triple H years prior to his WWE return, CM Punk noted on My Mom's Basement, "Oh yeah, I remember everything. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that I feel like is just for us. To me, being a wrestler at this level, there's a certain prestige to it. At least I feel there is. I'm very proud of being a wrestler, so there's a lot of things that I don't necessarily want to share with fans. It's no different than being in the Stanley Cup Finals and not letting cameras in the room. It's no different than playing a World Series game and certain people don't get access. I want to kind of protect that part. I think the Twitter and the internet perception is I tried to go back to WWE and they didn't want me, so I did the Fox show. That's not exactly what happened at all. I had a hilarious clandestine meeting in the Borgata in Atlantic City with Vince McMahon and Triple H. What is it, 2025 now? This had to be 2018 or 2019. It started because Vince just started calling me. I had agents telling me, hey, they want to talk to you, and I was like, whatever, I'm not interested. Then Vince just started calling me directly. He was like, hey, I'm eliminating the middleman. We gotta. And I was just like, this is insane. So we set it up. I was like, oh well, I'm gonna be here. And he said, all right, we can get there. We had a meeting. We had a handshake agreement, and then he ghosted me. That was probably the first time that me and Triple H started chipping away at any problems or drama that we had in the past. That was the first instance. At that point, I was very much like, yeah, okay, pay pay me. Whatever. I had taken some stuff personally. Years had gone by, and I was over it. I recognized that it's a business. You don't want me to take it personally? Just pay me. Opening up on the injury he suffered on Saturday night's main event, Seth Rollins told the Rich Eisen show, "When I landed, I felt my knee kind of pop and buckle. Monday, I was in Birmingham, Alabama, where our specialists were at. We took a look at the knee through imaging. It was a little too swollen, so we'll take another look hopefully in a week or two so that we can get a firm diagnosis and go from there. I'm not a doctor, but I know my body, and what I feel is that this is going to have me out for an extended period of time. We were talking off air earlier. It is a bummer, but our business moves on. It isn't the first time I was injured. It's not the last time. I've always got WrestleMania in the back of my mind. I'm like, can I make it back for WrestleMania season? I feel good about that, but beyond a firm timeline, I just don't know until we get a better answer on the MRI, so that's where it's at." And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.